Okay, so today's discussion will be a bit different. We are every time we have questions and answers, but this time we will discuss the questions and answers of Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj from the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and try to see if those questions and answers have something relevant for us. Just as in Gita for you, we have your questions, Gita's answers. So we have the same, your questions and Bhagavatam's answers in today's discussion. So let's see. Let's see what we do today. It will be different. So we begin with the 10th canto, first chapter, first verse of the Bhagavatam, and it says, Shri Rajo Vacha Kathito Vamsha Vistaro Bhavata Soma Suryayo Ragyam Cha Ubaya Vamshayanam Charitam Paramadbhutam. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying that good that you have elaborately described to me in the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam the various dynasties of the sun god and the moon god, the Surya Vamsha and the Chandra Vamsha, and you have described to me the exalted characters of kings such as Ambarish Maharaj, such as King Mandhata, and Lord Ramchandra, and all of those so many different stories you have narrated unto me, Pururava, Yayati, so many stories have been narrated. But actually, if the one thing, the magnum opus which I've been waiting for hmm, is yet to be unveiled. And so in the next verse, he says that you also described the descendants of the Yadus, but now, if you will kindly describe the wonderful, glorious activities of Lord Krishna, who appeared in that Yadu dynasty with Baladev, I'll be greatly obliged. I'll be greatly, um, grateful to you. And then he not only stops at that, he says that I want to hear the glorious activities and character of Lord Shri Krishna from the beginning to the end of his life. Now, let's pause here. Let's pause here to try to understand what is the state of Parikshit's consciousness and what is the context of this inquiry. Uh, can someone tell what was the first scene from the life of Parikshit Maharaj as the drama unfolds of the life of Parikshit Maharaj? What is the first scene that we see? How does he come to life? Yes, anyone can plug in. Surya, Prabhu, Kartikeya, Guru Bhakti, Gopi, Vedapriya, Bhavesh, Rajaram ji, Subhadra Mai Mataji, Mansi, Anvaya, anyone can. So the question is, what is the first scene, opening scene from the life of Parikshit Maharaj? We are close to the closing chapter of his life. But what was the opening chapter? And yes, Rajaram Prabhu has very rightly mentioned that Krishna is protecting Parikshit from the Brahmastra, which has been hurled by Ashwathama, uh, which is directed to kill the last, uh, scion in the lineage of the Pandavas, that is Parikshit. And somehow Uttara, cries out with great feeling, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, Bhaktanam, Abhayankara, Tvam Eko Dahyamananam, Apavarg Asi Samsriter. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, Krishna, you are the most powerful. No, I don't need to turn to anyone else, not even uh, the powerful Bhima or Arjuna. Bhaktanam Abhayankara, you give fearlessness to your devotees. Hmm? So, therefore, I'm approaching you in this situation of great uh, difficulty. And she is not approaching Krishna for her own sake. She's approaching Krishna for protecting the last descendant who is remaining in the Pandavas dynasty. Hmm. So she is selflessly approaching Krishna. And at that stage, and that point of time, uh, so Krishna immediately, he enters the womb of Uttara, chasing that Brahmastra, diffuses the Brahmastra, and the Brahmastra has actually charred Parikshit Maharaj, brutally charged the little embryo of Parikshit Maharaj. But Krishna somehow actually, saves Parikshit, and thus Parikshit sees the light of the day. Thus Parikshit appears in this world. And that's why his name is Parikshit, because he has always been looking for that person who saved him in his womb, in the dark, uh, womb, uh, where he had this experience of being brutally charred by the Brahmastra. Who was that person who came in, who was such a loving person, who was the most powerful person, who just protected me? I want to meet that person. I want to see that Krishna. So from his childhood only, he would always be looking here and there and saying, is that the person who saved me? Is that the person who protected me? So he would be looking everywhere and doing parikshan. Hmm. Iksha means eyes. Iksha means to look everywhere. Hmm. So that's why he was given the name Parikshit, who's always searching after Krishna. So now someone who has been searching for Krishna all through his life, so much so that when he was a small child, uh, and as children are very fond of playing, but can someone guess what was the play for Parikshit? Can someone guess what was the play and fun for Parikshit? No, Anupriya, you got it wrong. Little Parikshit. Uh, of course, for any Kshatriya, ordinary Kshatriya, that might be a game, horse riding, hunting, etc. Hide and seek. Yeah, he's not a cowherd boy of Vrindavan, Vedpriya. But uh, as a devotee of Krishna, actually, the Bhagavatam describes that he would always be playing with the dolls of Krishna. He would have these small dolls of Krishna, and he would be playing with those dolls. Just as we have little Krishna here. Hmm. So Parikshit, as a small child, would be always playing with these dolls of Krishna, dressing them, decorating them, offering them various foodstuffs. And the verse goes like this: Pratar Ashaya Yachita. Hmm. When Parikshit's mother Uttara would call out, Tanna Ichanti, would call out Parikshit, come, come, little Parikshit, have your breakfast. Hmm. He would be so absorbed in playing with his dolls of Krishna, she would have to literally come and pick him up and bring him for eating. Otherwise, he won't. Uh, he's just happy being with Krishna. So that is a personality in the Shrimad Bhagavatam who has become the uh, the instrument for appearance of Shrimad Bhagavatam, right? So that is the play of Parikshit, to play with the dolls of Krishna. So this is a personality we are trying to focus on. Parikshit, who from his childhood is always looking for Krishna everywhere. Who is that person who saved me? And then even his play as a child is to play with the deities of Krishna, the dolls of Krishna. And now, at this point of time in his life, after when he grew up to maturity, Yudhishthira Maharaj installed him as the king, and the Pandavas left for the forest, and he ruled the planet Earth with great righteousness, with great power for 36 years. And then this curse by Shringi happens, and then he's supposed to die in 7 days. And all he wants is to hear about the Lord. Hmm. He is not looking for any antidote to this curse. He is not looking for any compensation to this harsh curse. He has accepted it. And 3.5 days have passed till the ninth canto. Hmm? And 3.5 days are remaining for him to leave this world. And can you imagine, he has the patience to wait 3.5 days to listen to the pastimes of Krishna. He's not saying, "अरे यार 7 दिन तो है, चलो चालू करो, सुनाओ रासलीला सुनाओ, कृष्णा की गोपियों के साथ, और चलो यशोदा मैया के साथ, ग्वाल बालों के साथ, अभी ये सब क्या आप सृष्टि लीला महाविष्णु, ये सब, this is too technical." Yeah, and as Gopi is saying, that too without eating and drinking. So Parikshit Maharaj, actually it will come, the verse after this, a couple of verses after this, in fact he is saying um, that I'm not affected by hunger or thirst now, I just want to hear. So he has waited 3.5 days, and he's taking everything, each word of Shukdev Goswami with great respect, with great honor, but at the same time he has great eagerness to hear directly the pastimes of Krishna. So all of us, Parikshit Maharaj has been looking for Krishna all through his life. Our story also is not very different. We also have been looking for Krishna only all through our life, but Parikshit knows who is Krishna and where to find him. But the problem is, we don't know who is Krishna and where to find him. We have been looking for Krishna. We don't know we have been looking for Krishna, but actually, in fact, we have been looking for Krishna alone. We may have been trying to um, find some replacements for Krishna through money, through success, through uh, partners, through friends, through followers, uh, through our role models. In various ways, we may be searching for Krishna in various ways without even knowing that actually we are looking for Krishna, because the soul's nature is uh, to actually love and serve Krishna. George Harrison, in the introduction to Krishna book, writes, all you are looking for is love, and Krishna is love. That love of the heart we are looking for is attainable only in Krishna. Krishna is the ultimate object of all love, and Sri Radha is the ultimate source of all love. And we can be just those photons offering that love of Radha, just as the sun carries those light particles. So we are just the photons of love. So basically, bringing it to the point that we also have been looking for Krishna alone in various ways and means. And at this point of time, Parikshit is eagerly inquiring about Krishna's pastimes. And let's recite a beautiful verse. निवृत्ततर्षैरुपगीयमानात् भवौषधात् श्रोत्रमनोभिरामात् का उत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादात् पुनः पुमान् विरजेत विना पशुघ्ना. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying that this Hari Katha, which I am requesting you to speak, O Shukdev Goswami, these pastimes of Krishna, which I am requesting you to speak, they have two functions. They have multifunctional properties. One property is that they are very relishable and pleasing to the liberated souls. Those who don't have any trace of material attachments or selfish ego, for such people, this Harikatha is the most relishable nectar elixir which they are eager to drink every moment. Whereas for the conditioned souls, Now this is about the liberated souls. For the liberated souls, Harikatha acts like nectar. But what about the conditioned souls like us? For us, Shukdev Parikshit Maharaj is saying, Bhav Oshadhat. It acts like an Oshadhi, a medicine which can cure the fever of material existence. And so, yes, it has these two properties. And Parikshit Maharaj is now requesting, and he's saying that, oh, Shukdev Goswami, don't be anxious about me कि अभी हाफ टाइम हो गया है. तो जैसे मूवी में भी इंटरमिशन होता है, थोड़ा अभी 3.5 days हो गया, चलो थोड़ा पॉपकॉर्न, थोड़ा आइसक्रीम वगैरह खा के आते हैं. So what he's saying to uh, Shukdev Goswami, I'll read out that beautiful verse to you. Yeah. न एष अति दुःसहन शुन्माम त्यक्तोदम अपि बाधते पिबंतं त्वद्मुखाम्बोज च्युतम हरिकथामृतम. He says, Naisha ati dusahan shunmam. It is very difficult to control hunger and thirst, and he has practical experience of that. But he's saying that it is very difficult to control, but these, the hunger and thirst, they are not at all affecting me or playing on my mind. So you don't be bothered that अरे भाई इसको थोड़ा एक ब्रेक दे देते हैं, ये थोड़ा जाके ड्रिंक्स ब्रेक या सैंडविच खा के आ जाएंगे तो फिर वापस कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं. No, he's saying I don't want any break in between. I just want to continue drinking tvad pibantam twan mukham bhojam chutam harikathamritam. The nectar of harikatha which is coming out from your lips, I just want to drink that from my ears. So I'm not bothered about the food and drink of the mouth. I am just happy with this drinking from the ears, and that is nourishing me, that is satisfying me. So here we are also hearing the pastimes of Krishna, and thus on being requested by Parikshit Maharaj, Shukdev Goswami says a very beautiful verse. He says, definitely this is extraordinary. What the taste that you have received cannot be possible without having firm faith and conviction, nishtha. So therefore he congratulates him, and then he says a beautiful verse which is also relevant for Gita for you. Questions and answers. The 16th verse of the first chapter of the 10th canto. Vasudeva katha prashna pumsam trin punatihi vaktaram prachakam shrotrin tadpada shalilam yatha. The question and answers of Vasudeva Katha, the question and answers about Krishna, about Vasudev, they are purifying for three categories of people. Who are these three categories of people? Vaktaram, Prachakam, Shotrin. That means the person who asks the question gets purified. The person who answers the question, he also gets purified. And the audience who hears this question answer, they also get purified. And Shukdev Goswami gives an example to back it up. He says, just like this Harikatha emanates from the mouths of devotees, and whereas the Ganga, Mother Ganga, it emanates from the lotus feet of Krishna. And this Ganga, it purifies the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems. All the three planetary systems are purified by the flow of Mother Ganga. So it is called Alakananda in the upper planets. In the lower planets, it's called Bhogavati. And on Earth, it is called Ganga. So in its various forms, it actually purifies all the three planets, three systems. So similarly, Harikatha, in terms of questions and answers, it is purifying all of us. This series of Harikatha, this is today the 25th session. So these 25 episodes, all of us have been collectively taking bath in the Ganga of Krishna Katha. Because Bhagavad Gita is the nectar Hmm. Ganga, Mother Ganga emanated from the lotus feet of Krishna, whereas Bhagavad Gita emanates from the lotus lips of Krishna. So therefore, we have been having discussions on the Bhagavad Gita. It has been definitely purifying. If yes, please do let us know in the chat box. Yes or no? If it has been nourishing, gratifying, satisfying. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, so let's see what happens next. Hmm. And now the narration begins. And Shukdev Goswami, as an expert narrator, as an expert director of this original blockbuster, and the only blockbuster, uh, which is not just a blockbuster but also a myth buster, which busts the myths of material existence. So this blockbuster movie of Sri Krishna's pastimes, Shukdev Goswami is going to narrate, but he gives a background, he gives a context. He doesn't just start with oh, with just how Krishna's childhood pastimes, or maybe how Vasudeva and Devaki were in the prison. No, no, no. He goes way back. He begins with Mother Earth, hmm, being overburdened by the sinful kings, the sinful wielders of power, the political leaders with their military phalanxes. They were torturing Mother Earth, they were exploiting Mother Earth, they were torturing people, they were obstructing spiritual education, and this really overburdened Mother Earth. It is said that Mother Earth can tolerate any burden, any one of us, whatever our weight may be. We may call each other, कि, अरे, this person is very heavy, this person is lightweight, heavyweight, etc. But for Mother Earth, all of us are children. Whether it is 200 kg sumo or 5 6 uh, kilogram child, for Mother Earth, none of them is a burden, because for a mother, the child's burden is no burden. But still, Mother Earth feels the burden of one category of people, and that is the ungrateful people. So Mother Earth, she can easy, she doesn't have any problem if a even if an elephant walks on her surface. She doesn't feel trampled upon by walking of a heavy set elephant, but she feels trampled. She feels distressed, inconvenienced by the actions and the 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 presence of ungrateful people on the planet. Hmm? Otherwise, she doesn't feel any burden. So having so the earth at a particular point of time, towards the end of the Upper Yuga, was very much populated by many ungrateful people. Because as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sa kale neha mahata yoga nashta parantapa. Gradually, the science of spiritual education gets, you know, diluted. Just as they say, the Chinese whisper, it starts with something and it ends with something else. So, because of that lack of spiritual education, there is growth of there is mm, of these ungrateful kings who are just trying to exploit Mother Earth, and that really uh, distresses Mother Earth. And then she approaches Brahmaji in her distressful situation. So again, now coming back to what do we have to take home from this? So basically, uh, first of all, let us not be burden on Mother Earth. Last week we discussed that Samudra Vasane Devi Parvatastana Mandide Vishnu Patni Tamastubhyam Pada Sparsha Shamaswame. That Mother Earth is the consort of Lord Vishnu. And then when we wake up, we offer our gratitude and apologies to Mother Earth that now I'll be setting my feet on you. So please forgive. So let us be the righteous, grateful children of Mother Earth, and not by our actions cause her any pain. Mhm. Through pollutions of different types, we can definitely uh, cause Mother Earth pollution through littering Earth with various kinds of plastics. Mhm. We can definitely minimize the use of plastics, and that is one way by which we can serve Mother Earth, by minimizing our carbon footprint. That is another way. That is one way. Using public transport, etc. So these are various ways by which we can express our respect for the environment. But then a deeper understanding of respect for Mother Earth and the environment is to not um, actually uh, have a plastic or an artificial um, consciousness, which is just if we litter plastic, that Mother Earth may still tolerate. But if we have this plastic or artificial um, uh, lifestyle where we are not honest, we are not having integrity and honesty, we are duplicitous, that burden is that is actually a pollution which concerns Mother Earth even more. Lack of integrity, honesty, being duplicitous. So that plastic, let us refrain from littering the atmosphere, the ether, with the plastic of lies, with the plastic of duplicity. And let us not leave behind the carbon footprint of our of selfishness. Because that carbon footprint of selfishness, of exploitation, is something which really pollutes the environment. So yes, let's not contribute to the pollution of the environment. Let's not contribute to the burden of Mother Earth. And then another thing we are seeing here is that, like in today's society, in terms of whether it is organized slaughterhouses, whether it is rampant degradation of culture, uh, prostitution, of open prostitution, all of those things, these kind of things are actually burdens of on Mother Earth. So can do we add to the problem, or do we add to the solution? The choice is ours, right? And another thing that we note here is Mother Earth in this situation, although she is the consort of Lord Vishnu, she approaches Brahmaji. Hmm? She approaches a devotee. Hmm? She could have directly called Krishna and saying that these are the rascal children, they are troubling me, so you please take care of them. But she approaches a devotee, Brahmaji, who is the Sampradaya Acharya for the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. He is the founder of that Sampradaya. So in our situation also, in our life also, whenever we are in any difficulty, whenever we are um, beset with perplexities of material nature, we should resolve to take shelter of the association of devotees. Hmm. And in that, she approached Lord Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, what does he do? Uh, he, seeing the tears of Mother Earth, he becomes very actually compassionate, and he requests all the devatas. He requests all the devatas, including Lord Shiva, to join this entourage and go for lobbying. There's lobbying and activism even in the spiritual world. So there's activism and lobbying in this world. The NDA alliance or the India alliance, okay, that those alliances will always be there. But the devotees, they also know that if they have to actually influence the Supreme Lord, hmm, or to influence the voters, the alliances have been formed, right? To 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 get the vote bank, the alliances have been formed. But to influence Krishna, you just can't do that with some, by money or anything. You have to show your sincerity. So all the devatas, they approach with great sincerity. Together, they make a lobby and go to Krishna, and they can't directly approach Krishna. They go to the shore of the ocean of milk. On Shir Sagar, they go and they request, and on behalf of all the devatas, Lord Brahma, he requests the Lord to appear. And it's not that they get the darshan of Krishna, they get the darshan of Lord Vishnu. No, they just hear, and just Brahmaji hears the message of Lord. What does Lord say? He says, "Oh demigods." Acha. So Brahmaji is relating what he heard from Lord Vishnu. Lord Brahma heard the words of Lord Vishnu vibrating in the sky, thus he told the demigods, "O demigods, hear from me the order of Shirodakshai Vishnu, the Supreme Person, and execute it attentively without delay." What does Lord say? What does Brahmaji say? Before we submitted our petition, the Lord was already aware of the distress on earth. Consequently, for as long as the Lord moves on earth to diminish its burden by his own potency in the form of time, all of you demigods should appear through plenary portions as sons and grandsons in the family of the Yadus. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, will personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Therefore, all the wives of the Devatas should also appear in the Yadu dynasty. And then he also talks about the appearance of Baladev, the second expansion of Sri Krishna. And then he also talks about Vishnu Maya or Yog Maya, who will also appear. And thus, the directions have been given to all the devatas to appear in the Yadu dynasty. And and then and then Mother Earth is pacified, knowing that Supreme Lord is going to personally appear to relieve her burden. As Krishna promises in the Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata vyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkratam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So the time, the yuga for Krishna to appear had come, and uh, and Mother Earth is now pacified, and all the devatas, they take birth in the families of the Yadus. And meanwhile, then Shukdev Goswami shift the camera from the Shir Sagar, from the ocean of milk. He shifts it to the Yadukul, the dynasty of the Yadus, and he presents about that how uh, there is this Shurasena, uh, whose son is Vasudev, and then there is Ugrasena, whose son is Kamsa, and then Kamsa's sister Devaki, she's going to get married to Vasudev, and then Kamsa, out of his material sentiments, oh, my sister is going to get married, he yokes the reins of the horses. So we see in Bhagavad Gita Krishna yoking the horses, right? For Arjuna. Here we see Kamsa yoking the horses for his sister Devaki. But this was out of material sentiments. And the proof is that when after marriage, Devaki and Vasudeva were being carried to their palace, from the palace of Ugrasen Maharaj, that time there was an Akashvani. And in that Akashvani, the declaration was made that the eighth child coming from Devaki and Vasudeva would become the cause of the death of Kamsa. Right? So as soon as Kamsa heard this, immediately that external garb of being a very loving brother, it all got shattered, because for a materialistic person, for a selfish person, friendship and is friendship is just based on fulfilling one's personal interests. And as long as someone is no longer capable of fulfilling one's personal interest, or if someone is a threat to one's personal interest, they no longer are friend or family, they become foe. And can you imagine, at the, you know, spur of the moment, and immediately, instead of holding the reins and you know बहना को विदा करने लेके जा रहा है बड़े प्रेम से, but here he suddenly he takes out his sword, catches hold of the hairs of Devaki, and is about to slit her throat. So um, this is the depth of all the goodness, of the righteousness of 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 selfish materialistic people. Externally, they may appear to be very good, they may appear to be very cultured, but unless there is the understanding of philosophy, unless there is the right guidance, as the Bhagavatam describes, it is just the chariot of the mind. The good qualities of materialistic people, they are just being carried by the chariot of the mind, and the mind can anytime change, right? So this is something which we should take, kind of lesson from that. If we want to develop lasting good qualities, they can only come by uh, devotional service. Unless the mm, y- the operating system is changed, mm, from exploitation, from selfish enjoyment to devotional service. Unless that operating system is changed, we cannot expect any lasting spiritual good qualities to come out of us. So yeah, here comes a he is kind of ready to kill Devaki. And at that point of time, Vasudev chips in. He actually, being a very proper writes, a very intelligent Kshatriya, he sees Sam Dam Dand Bhed. What is it that I can apply in this situation to actually protect Devaki? Hmm? So he first of all says, he first of all uses logic. He says, wait a minute, eighth child. Hmm? So he first of all says that, okay, death for every living being is sure to come. So everyone is bound to die, and the change of body is not death of the soul. It's actually just transmigration from one body to another. So why are you becoming so worked up with this Akashwani about your death? Everyone, jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu dhruvam janma mritasya cha. Anyone who has taken birth is supposed to die. So why are you becoming so obsessed with this news of your death? Everyone is going to die. But asura, the word asura means asuramante iti asura. Someone who is obsessed with living and enjoying. That person is called an asura. So he cannot tolerate the prospect of his death, and therefore he doesn't pay any heed to this advice of Vasudev. And then Vasudev says, come on, Kamsa, think about it. What will happen to the name of your family, of your dynasty? That, see, this greatly courageous, powerful king, he became so fearful that he killed his own sister. First of all, he killed a sister, his sister, he killed a woman. So is he a Kshatriya, or is he a eunuch? So kind of people will will actually you know will talk ill about you and your dynasty. But even this doesn't work on shameless Kamsa. And then he applies another trick. Vasudev realizes that this all of this is not going to work. So he says, wait a minute, eighth child, right? So your the eighth child is going to cause you danger, not Devaki. So why are you trying to attack Devaki? It's the eighth child, and if you are so anxious, every child that is born, I will personally come and deliver unto your hands, and you kill the child, and be rest assured that that child will no longer be a threat for you. And when Kamsa hears this, because so far whatever Vasudev has spoken definitely has some effect on Kamsa. Like he's trying he's getting more and more uh, softened. But when Vasudev says this, then he gets okay, a way out, hmm, of not getting maligned, of not being accused of killing his own sister, at the same time of not dying at the hands of the eighth son. So this particular strategy appeals to him, and he says, okay, so you go and you bring every child to me, and I'll personally kill, and thus I'll remain immortal. But like Vasudev then, as the story progresses, brings the first child, Kirtiman, and Kamsa thinks, no, no, the first child is not a threat, so he lets him go. But then Narad Muni wants to expedite Krishna's appearance, and he tells Kamsa, he shows a lotus with 8 petals, and he says, this one is the first petal, right? Hmm? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the eighth petal, right? Then he twirls the lotus. Okay, which one was the first and which one was the eighth? Kamsa is baffled. Now it may be that the first is now the eighth, or the eighth is the first. I don't know. So then Kamsa understands that yes, any child could be a threat, and he imprisons Vasudeva and Devaki, and then one after another he kills their 6 children, and these 6 children represent the 6 anarthas: lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, illusion, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsar. And after the 6 children are killed, then appears Baladev, Sankarshan in the womb of Devaki, in the heart of Devaki, and cleanses the heart and the womb of Devaki, making her ready and prepared to bear Krishna within her heart. And uh, then after cleaning and decorating the heart of Devaki, Baladev moves into the womb of Rohini. And this is very significant because we all also want Krishna Janam to happen in our own lives. We all want Krishna to appear in our hearts. Hmm? Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudhaiva Shabditam Yad Iyate Tatra Puman Apavritah Sattve cha Tasmin Bhagavan Vasudevo Hi Adhokshajo me Namasa Vidhiyate. Lord Shiva is telling that Vasudev is definitely the father of Krishna, but Vasudev is also a state of consciousness. Hmm. Vasudev is a state of consciousness which gives birth to Krishna. So, Krishna Janam is not something which just happened in Devaki and Vasudev's lives 5,000 years ago. Krishna consciousness, Krishna and Krishna consciousness can take birth in our own individual lives. Hmm. But for that, we need a particular consciousness. We need the consciousness of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sattvam Vishuddham, the purified consciousness, hmm, of loving service, the purified consciousness devoid of any selfishness and false ego, the purified consciousness of humility, gratitude, tolerance, and devotion. Um, the capstone quality of devotion. So the root of all good qualities, devotion. So when someone has this kind of a consciousness, Krishna appears in their heart. Just as Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago in the heart of Vasudev, in the life of Vasudeva and Devaki, Krishna is ready and willing to appear in each and every one of our lives. We all stand the chance to experience the pastimes of Bala Gopal in our own lives. We all stand the chance of witnessing the adventures of Krishna in our own lives. Mhm. Uh, the only catch is, uh, do we shift our consciousness from the Kamsa consciousness to the Vasudeva consciousness or not? Hmm. So yes, Sri Krishna appeared because Devaki and Vasudeva had that consciousness, and also as a precursor, Balaramji appeared in the heart of Vasudeva and Devaki, and Balaramji represents Guru Tattva. So it's the Guru who first of all cleanses the heart and consciousness of the disciple, of the prospective uh, living entity. Hmm? So yes, we want to develop that Vasudeva consciousness, that Devaki consciousness, which will attract Krishna. But for that, we need to bear the instructions of Guru in our heart. We need to bear the mood of the Guru in our heart. And when we do so, when we uh, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Hai Kya, when we bear and hold the instructions of Guru in our hearts, then our hearts get purified. And when our hearts get purified, that Vasudev consciousness will arise. And when that Vasudev consciousness arises, automatically Sri Krishna is ready to appear in our hearts and begin his pastimes. Hmm. So Mahaprabhu would say, Mora Mana Vrindavan. Vrindavan is not just a physical place for which we can buy a ticket and go to Mathura, and then from there take a tum tum and rickshaw and go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a state of consciousness. So we can, once we develop this state of consciousness of Vrindavan, Krishna, it is said, Vrindavan paritajya padam ekam na gachati. Krishna never sets a foot out of Vrindavan. So if our heart becomes Vrindavan, we can be rest assured that Krishna is always going to reside within our hearts. So yes, this Janmashtami, let us all make this resolve to first of all get get ourselves purified of these six anarthas, which uh, which are obstacles in our, which are basically the obstacles between us and Krishna. And let us take the resolve and commitment to bear and hold the instruction of Guru, of Srila Prabhupada in our hearts. And by those instructions, our hearts will get purified, and the Vrindavan consciousness, Vasudeva consciousness will arise. And then Sri Krishna is awaiting to descend in our hearts. So, with these thoughts, let's pause our discussion today. If there are any comments, beginning with Jai Kishan Prabhu.
Prabhu, thank you for this wonderful discussion. I mean, I loved the way you took us all through from the importance of Krishna Katha, how it is relishable for the liberated souls and acts as a medicine for conditioned souls. Then to, I personally, I felt very grateful for giving us this platform, giving me this platform as a platform for purification. Because, as you rightly again said, one who asks the questions, one who is an audience, and one who answers the questions. Everyone are purified when there is a discussion of Krishna Katha. And then you brought the discussion all the way to how Vasudev negotiated with Kamsa, and then on to Krishna's birth. And what is the obstacle between us and Lord Sri Krishna in the form of six anarthas, which were represented by the first six children that uh, that had come before Lord Krishna. And then to cleanse our consciousness is the Guru's words, uh, which uh, which are represented by Lord Balram and his instructions. And then we are ready, all ready to welcome Lord Krishna in our hearts, our consciousness, our lives. And in fact, he's more ready to come, but are we ready to shift our consciousness from Kamsa to Vasudeva? Thank you, Prabhu. You've taken. I mean, it's a very difficult topic to cover in 1 hour, and as always, you.
नहीं, आपने प्रूव कर दिया कि मैं 1 घंटा फालतू बकबक कर रहा था, 5 मिनट में आपने बता दिया.
That's because आपने 1 घंटा कृष्ण कथा किया, प्रभु. But amazing, Prabhu.
But to let you all know, can you guess why is Jai Kishan Prabhu's name Jai Kishan?
Bro, you're spilling the beans.
The secret must be revealed. So Jai Kishan Prabhu, I think was born after a lot of prayers, to just as Mother Cow and Brahmaji and everyone requested the Lord to appear. So Lord appeared on Janmashtami. Lord appeared, and that the day is called Janmashtami. So Jai Kishan Prabhu was also born on the day of Janmashtami. So we will celebrate his birthday also.
Thank you,
Prabhu. So yeah, any other comments, reflections, thoughts, questions that anyone may have? Your plans for Janmashtami, and okay, let's have this short discussion. Oh wow, Gopi ji has her birthday the next day of Janmashtami this year. Great. So let's have like, you can all type in the chat box or unmute yourself and speak. What does Krishna represent in your life? In all our lives, Krishna has definitely appeared to some extent. The ray of the sun has appeared. The sun is not visible on the horizon yet, but we can just as even before the sun is visible on the horizon, the rays of the sun, the light is already visible. So in our lives also, the light of Krishna is already visible. So what is it that Krishna means to you? Krishna, what is it that represents Krishna for you? What is it that has changed in your life? What is that new, fresh change that Krishna has brought in your life? So yeah, you can type. Okay, Gopi is mentioning that Krishna is a friend and brother. Maybe you must have tied the Raksha Bandhan to Krishna. Yeah, Krishna is the only protector. One of the 6 symptoms of Sharanagati is Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. That Krishna will always protect me. Yeah, for others, what is it that Krishna means to you? What is it that Krishna has brought in your life? For me, okay, let me wait for others, then I will also speak what is it that Shri Krishna means for me. The only hope in any situation, such a beautiful thing. Actually, this material world is full of such perplexities, such complexities, and without Krishna, we like it's so impossible to actually face all of those challenging, difficult circumstances. But when you have Krishna with you, then the greatest fearful situation, they also become hope giving situations. And the example of the Pandavas is there. Thank you, Subhadramaya Mataji. So let's see. Wow, Ved Priya has presented a gem. I feel like Krishna can understand me even when I don't understand my own feelings and make me feel all right in a while. That is so true and so beautiful. We talk about, oh, I understand and I know that person. वो कैसा है, वो कैसी है, मुझे पता है सब. But to tell the truth, actually, we don't even understand ourselves. Many times we are also not able to decipher what am I feeling exactly. Am I feeling envious? Am I feeling angry? Am I feeling just morose? What is it? उसका सक्सेस देख के मुझे अंदर क्या हो रहा है? मतलब we may feel that नहीं नहीं I am good with everyone, but sometimes we don't know what our feelings are, and we think that we understand others, but we don't even understand ourselves. But if there is anyone who can understand us to the core, inside out, that is Krishna, because he is looking at us inside out. We are looking at ourselves outside in, right? And while we hear words, Krishna hears intentions, right? So yeah, that's a beautiful thing, and that's such so empowering to know that someone understands you and someone trusts you. Someone will be there for you no matter what. Hmm? So that feeling actually absorbs you from so much of loneliness, from so much of misunderstanding, right? So yeah, Vedpriya, that's a beautiful thing. I think this for many of us, this is definitely true. And Anvayaji is mentioning childlike innocence and someone having the power to console and cheer us always. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing actually. uh, Actually all of us, uh, we are innocent souls. Hmm? But that innocence is covered by the crookedness and duplicity of material energy, of our crooked desires. So all of us in the core have that childlike innocence. And Krishna, when he comes in our lives, he revives that touch of innocence, the touch of authenticity and integrity in our lives. Otherwise, uh, we get so caught up in telling lies that we also can't make out the difference between lie and truth. Our lives get so complicated, just showing one face to someone and showing another face to someone. We forget, who am I? But a child is very innocent. They don't bother about koi dekh raha hai, koi nahi dekh raha hai. They are themselves. So but we have lost our childlike innocence because of trying to make a show in this world. But when Krishna comes in our lives, he revives that childlike innocence. and uh, and yeah, someone having the power to console and cheer us always. Peace and calmness, yes. Subhashini Mataji, yes, peace and calmness. Bhavesh, a sense of positivity, not just sense, but a lot of positivity. Krishna consciousness is the absolute positivity. That positivity which is not dependent on any relative measurement. For us, we feel positive when we see that I have got more marks than someone else. I have got higher salary than someone else. I have got higher profits than someone else. So that sense of positivity that we feel, the sense of self-confidence that we feel is based on mm, uh, comparison with someone who is on the negative side, right? And the tables turn in this world today. Uh, you know, you know, today what we are, someone else would be, right? And we could be lagging behind. And that time, such positivity, which is just based on relative measures, will definitely turn into negativity. Yeah. So success, which is based on comparison with failures of others, is not success, it is sickness. So Krishna comes to relieve us from this sickness and give us the true measure of success. The true measure of success is not to be the best, but to try our best and leave the rest to Krishna. So yeah, Krishna has given us positivity. And yes, Mansi, feeling of safety. hmm, We are in safe hands. Uh, Krishna is Sakala Abhaya Prado. When we are in Krishna's hands, we are in the safest hand. There cannot be any insurance which is which covers us against all forms of dangers other than Krishna. So yeah, feeling of safety in the association of devotees. And Harshita Mataji saying, felt the reciprocation whenever I approached him. Wow, that's beautiful. That in our own hearts, we might not be able to explain that. We might not be able to um, give our testimonials of how exactly it happened, but somewhere, within our hearts, we have that experience that yes, whatever I was going through, and when I approached Krishna, he reciprocated in inconceivable ways. A protector in all situations, a listener without judgment. Wow, beautiful. Always shows us the path which I never thought of. Makes us believe what he does, that's for our betterment. Yeah, whatever he does for us is for our good. Hmm. Thank you, Harshita Mataji. These are beautiful realizations, uh, especially reciprocation whenever we approach him, and shows us the path which I never thought of. Yes. So thank you all very much, and yes, we'll take up with Priya. Your question will take up, but Jay Kishan, आपने answer नहीं दिया. You are also supposed to.
Uh, so for me, Krishna is shelter.
Okay.
We're all looking for shelter, someone in our power, in our positions, in our degrees, in our job profiles, in our qualifications, in our skills. But the reality is everything is tested by time, place, and circumstance. Everything is limited by time, place, and circumstance. And Krishna is Achyuta, like
Hmm.
unfailing shelter. So yes, shelter.
Wow, unfailing shelter. Yeah, so the Titanic was named the Unsinkable, hmm? The ship which even God cannot sink. And when you give such challenges to God, He takes it seriously. Hmm?
Mm.
So the ship was supposed to give shelter in the midst of the ocean, but that ship itself became the cause of death, right? So the shelters in this world, they themselves um, are fallible, they themselves are vulnerable, right? So actually only Krishna can give us the true lasting shelter. And when you have that shelter, there's no fear, there's warmth, there is there is that feeling of comfort. So yeah, Krishna gives us that shelter. Thank you, Prabhu. And for me, what Krishna, when I talk of Krishna coming in my life, for me it is the association of devotees. Hmm? Because actually the thing which is the most dearest to Krishna, which Krishna values the most. So Krishna doesn't value Kohinoor or Shamantak money. Those are stones for Krishna. There is no wealth in this world which Krishna values, because Lakshmi Sahasra Shatasevya uh, Samramanam, that millions of Lakshmis are ready to serve Krishna with the best of opulences. Krishna is not interested. If Krishna values someone, as was demonstrated in the Leela of Sudama, it was his devotee. Hmm. Krishna values those broken and rotten chipped rice, hmm, poha, Sudama ke pohe. So that is how much Krishna values devotees. And if Krishna values something the most, means the Supreme Lord, if they value something the most, if say suppose in each of our individual lives, we have things which we value the most, which we value a lot. Maybe it is a wristwatch, maybe it is a smartphone which we value a lot, and we are very careful. We don't hand it over to anyone so casually, right? अपना भाई बहन भी ले लिया तो दे मुझे वापस दे, पासवर्ड नहीं बताते उसका किसी को, right? We don't give access to even our phones to anyone. Why? Because they are very close to us. Now, what is it that Krishna considers most valuable to him? It is Krishna's devotees. For him, सारी दुनिया एक तरफ और उनके भक्त एक तरफ. So, but Krishna is so magnanimous that something or someone who which he values the most, he's not holding them back. He is actually allowing us to receive that gift in our life. So Krishna has opened up the way to him through his devotees. So he has made his devotees accessible to us, and if we understand, if we just get a glimpse or uh, you know just a inkling of how much Krishna values his devotees, we would be so careful in our dealings with them and not take them for granted. Each and every devotee is a great benediction, a boon in our lives, and it's Krishna's special gift to us. And how do we deal with these gifts of Krishna has a lot of bearing in how quickly we attain Krishna in our own individual lives. So yes, thank you all for joining, and let's these were my thoughts also on this question, and then let's see Ved Priya's question. Why did not Mother Earth directly approach Lord Vishnu? Hmm? So there could be different reasons, but recently I heard in a class that Mother Earth, she is following the system. In the universe. In this universe, Lord Brahma is the supreme, director. Krishna has appointed Lord Brahma to see that everything is going all right. So Mother Earth is. So why should I disturb Krishna directly? Why should I disturb Lord Vishnu directly? Let me go to Brahmaji, and if Brahmaji feels the need, he will then pass it on to Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. If he can solve it at his level, then why do I need to bother Lord Vishnu? So, yeah, Brahma, so she wanted to follow the particular channel, and Krishna also says, "Evam parampara praptam evam rajarshe vidu," that this knowledge of Krishna consciousness is received in parampara. So we don't directly jump to Krishna. We that knowledge becomes more and more sweet, more and more relishable, and evolved as it is handed down in parampara. So yes, therefore we approach our seniors and our gurus, and they approach their gurus, and so on and so forth. And that's how we get the best, which happens to be the most nearest, the best and the nearest. So Krishna is far away. So someone may say, oh, Krishna is far away, but he's the best. डायरेक्ट कृष्णा से भगवद गीता सुनने को मिलेगा तो वो बेस्ट रहेगा. सो बेस्ट, बट वो फारदेस्ट है. नियर वाला इतना अच्छा नहीं होगा. यहाँ पे अभी हियरिंग गीता फ्रॉम सम डिवोटीज, नो डायरेक्ट कृष्णा से सुनना है. नो, कृष्णा सेज द नियरेस्ट इज ऑल्सो द बेस्ट. So when you hear Krishna Katha, when you hear Bhagavad Gita from the devotees in parampara, you not only get the nearest but also the best. So that is one way to look at it. Ved Priya, does it help?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ved Priya, and thank you everyone for joining. And wish you all a very happy, joyful Janmashtami, and may each and every one of us actually pray very earnestly, sincerely to the Lord, and on this Janmashtami, serve with our full hearts and celebrate with devotees such Janmashtami that which will be memorable for the rest of our lives. So see you all soon again next week. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Inshallah.